blessed risings, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where in the world you are tapping in from. You have to remember and keep in mind that Keeping P Podcast is a global show. And today we will be talking about Wells Fargo accused of staging fake job interviews for black people. So you went there to interview for a job and you had absolutely no chance of getting the job. We'll be talking about that and more when we return from these messages on this episode of Hold the Mayo.
Music teaser.
KENDRA, you're the best. KENDRA BLACKWOOD is the fuck.
Welcome to Keep It P Podcast, where we take news, situations, and everyday occurrences, and we show how one could or could not have been keeping it P. And today, I am your host, TZ Von Savage, in the place to be. Now, I usually have a spiel for y'all and go through my whole thing, but you know what? We're going to get right to the nitty gritty. I don't have time to be playing games when it's serious like this. I mean, all the articles we do is serious, but like I really want to get to what's going on with this mess. I hope nobody's surprised. This ain't their first offense, and we continuously patronize and spend our money with people who don't like us, and they repeatedly let us know they don't like us. In fact, they hate us. But you still spend your money with them. Coke, Timberland, Tommy Hilfiger, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, Starbucks, Home Depot. It's just to name a few. Not saying there's not many more. Cracker Barrel, Waffle House. Keep spending your money with people that hate you. Wells Fargo accused of staging fake job interviews for black and female candidates. No, for black people. Female. So that means that a white woman, because you just said female, so that means a white woman came in there and you was like, nah, I'm cool. Didn't happen. 7 current and former Wells Fargo employees said they were instructed to interview diverse candidates even though the decision had been made to hire someone else. Sounds like the NFL. Y'all still watch the NFL and support the NFL, right? No black owners, right? Gotta control. Can't have no blacks in there, even though they're 70%, right, of the league. So why wouldn't you take your 70% and go start your own league? No? Oh, okay. Nah, you wouldn't do that because you can't click-a-late together because you got people not in the same sport, but you're a basketball player, Draymond Green, that are blacker than midnight, identifying as white. That's why. Yeah, I did the article on that. I did the story on that. Yep, go check that out. Sure did. If you missed it, you missed it. But it ain't too late for you. It goes on to say, but anyways, before I get into that, the NFL did the same thing. They're going through a lawsuit right now They were interviewing black candidates, but the decision had already been made to hire someone else, so they was just going through the motions. The New York Times reports that 5 other Wells Fargo employees were aware of the practice or helped to arrange it, according to the employees. So what made y'all tell? You didn't get the promotion you wanted? Is that why you told? Huh? I'm sure you would have kept, because you did keep your mouth shut and you did participate. So you didn't have a problem doing it then. You didn't have a problem practicing anti-black racism till now. Why? There's a reason. There is a reason. We don't know the reason. I'm saying it was money related. You didn't get something that you wanted, that you asked, but you really wasn't asking because you knew the dirt. But you see, Wells Fargo called your bluff because they don't care. It's known that they do not like black people. It's known. The people that are black and work there, they don't like you. You must have passed the Sambo test. You must have passed the Hakuna Matata initiation in order to gain your employment at Wells Fargo, black person. It goes on to say, according to the employees, the fake interviews were conducted to boost the bank's diversity efforts on paper in anticipation of regulatory audits. Joe Bruno, who joined the bank in 2000 and worked his way up to a market leader overseeing 14 branches of its wealth management operation in Florida, said he was often told to conduct interviews with black candidates for financial consulting positions, which were lower paying jobs. He added the bank had no intention of hiring them because either he or his supervisor had already picked someone. He didn't do nothing about it. Bruno said he eventually refused to conduct the interviews after he participated in much anti-black racism. It began to weigh on him, supposedly. I got a black person on the other side of the table who has no shot of getting the job, he told his bosses. Tony Thorpe, a senior manager for the bank in Nashville overseeing 60 people, said he never conducted a fake interview but was required to document that he tried to find a diverse pool of candidates despite knowing who was getting the job. Why isn't that the same thing? How come that's not a fake interview? That's exactly what Joe Bruno did. He interviewed people already knowing that they picked someone. Why isn't that not the same? Oh, because you never held an interview. You, sir, never even held interviews. Fake or not. You just forged the documentation, sir. You did have to tell the story, send an email verifying what you've done, Thorpe told the Times. You just had to show that you were trying. But you didn't try. You just said you didn't interview no one. But he was required to document that he tried to find a diverse pool of candidates despite knowing who was getting the job. What did you do wrong? I don't understand. What are you doing wrong? If you did the interviews and then you guys decide to hire someone else, what's the problem? No, you never did the interviews, Tony Thorpe. You lied and forged documentations, making up stories of interviews that took place that never took place, sir. On to Don Banks, a black wealth manager in Louisiana. You did it too. What I tell you, if you was black working at Wells Fargo, you already passed the good old boy step and fetch it test. You can't be a member of the club, but you can hold our jockstrap. He experienced Wells Fargo hiring discrimination firsthand. He was contacted by a human resources representative in 2006 and 2017 and was told that he had advanced past the initial interview round for a financial advisor training position and would receive a call from the manager. He never received one. A former employee, a manager in the area where Banks had applied, said Banks was the victim of a fake interview. Banks was eventually hired by Wells Fargo in 2018 in a more junior position and laid off in 2020 as a result of the pandemic. Wells Fargo spokesman Jennifer Langen told Black Enterprise in a statement that the bank could not corroborate the claims but has made significant improvements, adding that since 2021, minority hiring has increased by 27%. They weren't talking about minority hiring. They're talking about black hiring. See, that's what y'all get for falling into that rabbit hole of minority. We all in this together. Black and brown. You're my brother. Right? Well, that's what happens. You get lumped in. When Asians talk about Asians, they talk about Asians. When they ask for something, it's for Asians. When the alphabet crew asks for something, it's for the alphabet crew. Get it? When Hispanics ask for something, it's for Hispanics. But when we ask for something, yeah, it's for everyone. Everybody can have some of this. Right. You're always sharing what's supposed to be just for you, but nobody else does that. And then you wonder why everybody else is bubbling over you, right? Oh, okay. But since 2021, they've made major improvements. We can't corroborate what happened before, but we made improvements anyways, though, right? Because nothing was wrong. Wells Fargo has been hit with a litany of racial discrimination lawsuits related to its hiring processes and its treatment of black customers. Why is minority? Why are we talking about minority? Why? Why? I haven't heard. You said and females in the title. You said and females in the title. You haven't gave one example of how a female was discriminated against. All I see is anti-black racism in this whole article, but you talking about minorities. No, this is black. At the same time, the bank has donated millions to black businesses and causes. What black businesses and causes did you donate money to? Where? Can we get a list of them? And that's what they wanted to leave you with. Oh, I know we've been doing and practicing anti-black racism since our inception, and I know we participated in slavery, and I know our business is only built on the backs of black slavery. We know that, but we've been giving money back. Give the bank back. Bet you don't do that. Bet you don't do that. But I ain't gonna hold you. I'm just gonna mold you, fold you, and scold you about being on code. I bet you continue to bank with them too. I bet you do. I bet you continue to spend money with people who don't like you. In fact, they hate you. In fact, they wish you were gone. They do. 4 words to close out the show: love, peace, blessings, and Maloha. Y'all need to get you some of that girl. Did you get you some gear? If you ain't bought you no gear, come on, man. I'm going to show you this, then I'm going to say less. See that? That's where you get the gear at. Money green, reparations green, We wearing these on St. Patrick's Day 2023. If you don't have yours yet, you're bluffing. And I'm going to leave it at that. Take that. That's where you can find the petition that KENDRA is going to tell you about.
Be one to the family. This is KENDRA Blackwood of Hot Lava Music TV and the Hot Lava Media Group. And I come to you today with an urgent call to action. And with that being said, this petition is to demand the US government immediately make anti-Black racism a public health crisis is now an active campaign at change.org. And after this message, I'm going to need you to go over there and show your support. Right after you smash that like and subscribe if you have not already. Make sure you hit that bell for notifications. It doesn't cost you a thing. Now, this is a petition to demand cash reparations for foundational Black Americans addressing two critical components. So what is anti-Black racism? Anti-Black racism is defined here as policies and practices rooted in American institutions such as government, finance, education, healthcare, and justice that mirror and reinforce economic deprivation, racially targeted laws, beliefs, attitudes, prejudice, stereotyping and/or discrimination toward foundational Black Americans. What is a public health crisis, you asked? Well, a health crisis or public health crisis is a difficult situation or complex health system that affects humans in one or more geographic areas, from a particular locality to encompass the entire planet. Health crises generally have significant impacts on community health, loss of life, and on the economy. And ultimately the solution to the problem, it is imperative that the United States government declare anti-Black racism a public health crisis for foundational Black Americans. In 2020, as a community, Asian Americans experienced only 287 hate crimes nationwide. However, FBA in the same year suffered 2,871 reported hate crimes. As we know, those are just the reported accounts according to the F.B.I. As foundational Black Americans, we know that the number should reach in the billions daily. This resulted in a 94-1 unanimous decision to pass into law an anti-Asian hate crime provision to make Asian a protected class. With anti-Black racism being thousands of times more prevalent and permeating within the fabric of America, we ask that you sign this petition to say, we are sick of studies and commissions to study forums and meaningless holidays and nothing burger symbolic gestures. We demand the U.S. government to urgently disperse the first initial reparations cash payment of $20 trillion to the surviving descendants of American chattel slavery. AKA, cut the damn check. And I mean that. Jack. On my ancestors for real for real. I proudly digress. Anyway. Check out the new Slave Patrol documentary. Pull up season on you sucker MCs. Don't forget to join us on Patreon. I got 4 words for you. Go grab a shirt.